Welcome, dear listeners, to the Speak and Flow podcast, where we dive into unique strategies and experiences to help you and your team achieve maximum potential, connection, and flow. Today, I have an amazing leader. I'm so glad that she's here because we're going to dive into work about communication and communities and why that's important. Her name is Jenn Pedde. She's the VP of Customer Advocacy at PeoplePath. She's managed online communities, social media communities for big names such as Oprah Winfrey. She's an adjunct professor at Syracuse University School of Communications. She's had over 20 years of online experience developing online communities. She's also managing a remote co-working meetup group in San Diego with over 1,500 people in it. Hi, Jenn. Glad you're here.
Hi, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing your extensive experience and insights with us. And so, can you share more with the audience what you do and why you're excited about it?
Sure. So customer advocacy is maybe new to some people. Basically, it kind of bridges the gap between customer success and marketing. And what it does is realize that your current clients at a company are a gold mine of information and they have stories to share and they're excited to use your product or services. And how can you leverage all of that to use in marketing to share that story externally? And so I love the job because I'm working with others to share their stories and communicate out what they're doing, and being proud of what they're doing along with our product, but to get everything out in the world to inspire others to do the same. So it's really fun for me. I managed a corporate alumni community in a consulting firm years ago called Oliver Wyman. And so I did that for 5 years, where the company focuses on former employees to help them with talent acquisition and business development and brand advocacy, all this fun stuff. And then when I was leaving the company, the vendor that I worked for, PeoplePath, said, "Why don't you come over here and work for us?" And so now I get to work with all these big, huge companies. We work with massive law firms and consulting firms and companies like Starbucks and Accenture and Deloitte and all these really cool things, and helping them share their career paths of their former employees. Is just such a cool space to work in, and I'm grateful to get to share the stories of what they're doing each day.
Wow. You have such an extensive network of people working for these big companies. Oprah Winfrey, was it always like that for you growing up?
Yeah, yes, actually. So I remember in elementary school, my report card was always, I couldn't sit next to anybody because I would talk to people, right? So too talkative, too this, that, and then now it's my job. So
Uh-huh.
it's perfect. But yeah, so when I graduated college, I went to Syracuse actually, and then I graduated and went to work in entertainment. So I was booking tours for some of the biggest recording artists ever, T.I.,
Got it.
Rihanna, Eminem, you name it, like really huge acts.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I just loved putting those events together, right? We're creating
Yeah.
tours and people get to go see these live acts, and it was incredible. And then I went to live in Korea for a while, which sounds like a very crazy pivot, but I wanted to travel. And then came back, and that's right around the time that social media was becoming a thing. So
Mhm.
I really dived into the whole world of social, really understood LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter at the time. I was always into MySpace and things like that before that, but this is when
Mhm.
businesses were really jumping into it. Learned how to do it and how to apply communication methods to
Mhm.
everyday online activity. And then
Mhm.
just when it blew up from there, it was right time, right place, you know?
Mhm. And so what is it that you're seeing right now as the transition into this space?
Oh, it's crazy. So 20 years ago, you were looking at things like forums and message boards and
Right.
really niche communities. In a lot of ways, that's coming back. The pendulum is
Uh-huh.
swinging back to that because it started with these small little communities around the internet
Uh-huh.
as people
Uh-huh.
were really, early adopters. But now that everyone is online doing something, mass media has really happened. Right now, we're on to there's like hundreds of social networks that people participate on, these huge things like LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok, right? So there's this massive switch to that, but now we're starting to swing back into smaller communities. People are kind of fearful of maybe algorithms or AI, or they just
Right.
want to participate in some fun things that mean something to them. So these smaller
Mhm.
communities, where they really have connections to other people, is becoming very important.
Interesting. Wow, when you said forums, that took me back.
Yeah, I know, it's so crazy.
I do
The
remember
LETV.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I love that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Especially just to have more connection. Just you just want to be in a smaller group. It's hard to have real connections with a big, large network in a bit. So I think there's probably benefits to both, right? Having being on LinkedIn, things like that, but also a part of a smaller community.
Yeah, it's all important and people are spending their time in all of these places, but where do they put their focus? Where do they really dive into and where do they really uh, let their attention kind of sit is really the thing. So these former employee groups are so huge because you have that connection already. We all worked at this one place. And so
Right.
now they are growing to this place where they're providing resources, events, networking opportunity, learning opportunities, just career growth, because we know that people spend 2.7 years on average at a company if they're under the age of 35. And so how do you kind of capture on this constant change in community and employee tenure? So communities are where they're at.
Yeah, how does PeoplePath do that?
Yeah, so PeoplePath is a software that works
Hmm.
with major corporations to
Hmm.
kind of keep that pipeline going. So most
Hmm.
corporations would have a HR system like a Workday or PeopleSoft or something, and
Hmm.
then we connect our software to that. And so people
Mm.
then, as an employee, when they're in the system, they leave their last day. Companies typically lose all information after that, but PeoplePath will connect them into these communities. It has all sorts of features, events modules, and directories and job boards and all sorts of stuff that help build community and keep that connection going because people opt into it. You know, they give you your personal email address. And so you can stay a part of it pretty
Mm.
easily after you leave.
So this is a software that helps keep the connection with people after they leave the company.
Yes, absolutely.
And then so these events and these modules and learning are all sponsored by the previous employer.
Yes, exactly. So the
Got
company
it.
owns it. They're managing what that looks like. They have a team of people
Uh-huh.
usually one person at least, but we've seen large groups of 5 to 10 people who are managing these massive communities of tens of thousands of people that have come and gone into the company. So you get people who maybe are in their 20s and just left, or people who are 50s, 60s and are looking to join boards or maybe be a part of um, contract stuff or nonprofit stuff. So you have all
Hmm.
kinds of different people in these communities at different ages and different experiences who maybe left last year or maybe left 20 years ago, but they still want to stay
Wow.
involved and connected to something they were a part of.
Wow. And how are companies like is it ramping up? I've never even heard of this type of
Yeah,
concept. So
yeah,
what if like companies don't do it? Do you have like information between companies that don't do it versus companies that do? What is the
yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
part of my job is to do a lot of research each year. We work with a
yeah,
university in British Columbia, and we
yeah.
do research on this. And so what we found is it's significantly growing. Most companies have started in the last 2 or 3 years, so it's never too late.
Hmm.
We can date these back to the 90s. Microsoft was one of the first companies that started an alumni network, and they're going quite strong. And so what the benefits are if you do this is that you get savings in talent acquisition. So rehiring people back to the
Hmm.
organization are called boomerangs. So
Hmm.
they save on recruitment costs and they save on training costs, millions of dollars that they save by doing
Hmm.
this. They also have business development. So when somebody leaves, maybe they go work for a client. And so when you go work for a client and you continue business with that client, they gain money. So there's a huge
Hmm.
opportunity. Some of our research says that 1 in 5 organizations will attribute about $18 million of revenue to alumni assisted sales. So huge amounts of money are there to just make those relationships stronger. And
Oh, I
brands,
see.
people are out there
Right.
mentioning the brand 7 or 8 times a year. So you can't
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of sentiment, as long as it's positive, right? Like you want to do
Yeah.
more to make them feel included and welcomed and thanked. But yeah, so all these savings, and if you don't do it, you're just missing out because everyone has grown into the space. Like we're seeing such huge interest. And so you're missing out on saved costs, you're missing out on strategic value, you're missing out on new clients, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. So uh,
Interesting.
starting to realize it, which is great.
How long do people stay on there?
Say in the
Do you think?
community.
Yeah, stay in the community.
Oh, once
Even.
we've some of the research we found is that when it takes a little while to start. So you
Yeah.
join in slow bits, and then once you're in, you're in. You never typically leave. because you've always worked there. Your history is you've worked at this company. And a lot of times, even if companies get acquired, they get merged into other different types of alumni groups. So your alumni group sometimes gets bigger, but you never typically leave. I've never really heard of people opting out that often, maybe once or twice, but on average, you're in this for life. And what we think in about the next 10 years is that because people job hop so much, that you'll be in multiples of these networks. So if you're a lawyer and you're bouncing from law firm to law firm, you might be in 3 or 4 alumni networks by the time you're 40 or 50. So
And do people go in and they post things? And is there a chat feature? Or
yeah.
I'm seeing like they get notified. PeoplePath has its own chat feature,
Yeah, absolutely.
online
There's a
chat
messenger in there. There's groups. It looks
groups.
like a mini LinkedIn, and so
Got it.
we
Got it.
suggest people have LinkedIn and make a group there, but always kind of bring people back to that community and that hub. And so,
Got
yeah,
it.
it's a really customizable platform. I don't want to sell it too much, but
Interesting. No, it's interesting. I'm so fascinated.
it's
I
really,
love it.
really interesting. And
I
it's
love it.
gotten to be so cool. It has so many features and fun things that like
Yeah.
we want people to be engaged and active and create posts and polls and fun things and have events to sign up for. The events are the best part. I've seen people do happy hours
Right.
and golf
Right.
outings and wine tastings, you name it.
Right. I could see that.
Mm-hmm. So it's really cool.
And so how did you I remember you saying that you just always been curious about meeting new people and building your network. Like what was that story between after
Oh yeah.
college, going to the media and then into supporting Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah, absolutely. So my mother kind of instilled this in me in high school, which is it's not what you know, it's who you know. And
Yeah.
she wasn't wrong, right? I went to a great school and I did well in all my endeavors, but it really was always about networking and being involved in stuff. And creating community was kind of a thing I was doing without realizing I was doing it. And so then when I went into working in community specifically, it was very easy to be like, all right, what brings people together?
Mm,
What does that look like? And for me, it's always just who can I meet? Who can I learn from? How can I improve? My mantra in life is just constant education, right? So just continuously learning. And so finding other people to talk to and learn from and hopefully build really strong connections to is super huge. And now it's my job. So it's kind of rolled into
yes,
every
you do that
aspect.
every day. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to have that mindset to always, continually learn from other people and meet new people, stretch yourself to go outside of the comfort zone, get out,
Mhm.
go to networking events, go to
Yeah.
events, go to
Yeah.
groups. Yeah,
It's really
I
hard,
think
especially as you get older. That's something I
exactly.
wasn't exactly expecting in my as my career has advanced, but just making it an effort to do it, you just
Right.
it gives you rewards you wouldn't necessarily expect. And with the way the world is changing, it's more important now than ever to
Yeah.
meet new people.
What are your thoughts about how AI is going to change this landscape?
Oh, I'm of two minds on all of this. The academic in me worries about the ability to attribute right information, make sure it's
Hmm.
correct, that kind of stuff. On the other hand, the operational side is so exciting. I think that it has time to free people up to do certain things and that you might not have had otherwise. Small organizations might really benefit from tools that can help them achieve their goals. So I'm really
Hmm.
looking forward to the way AI can save time, but I have that reservation of an academic who is just a little leery that it's the right information or that it's being fact checked in some
Hmm.
way or that the proper sources are being cited. So a
Right.
bit of both,
I totally see that. And how do you think it's going to change the way we communicate?
Oh, I have been thinking about this a lot. I don't know if I have
Mm.
a perfect answer, but it
Hmm.
will change because people are going to expect such immediacy. And we're
Hmm.
already kind of seeing it play out in some different parts, like dating. People are dating, talking to AI.
Hmm.
So that's a whole new realm that has yet to even
Hmm.
be studied that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
how it plays out in connections online and where people take their careers, I'm not really sure yet, to be quite honest. But
Yeah.
whole new world, that is for sure. I keep telling my students that you may or may not be for it, but it's better to know where it's going, learn how to use it,
Right. Yeah.
understand it, and if it goes
Yeah.
away, great. If it doesn't, also great, because you're going to be at least um, gathering the skills to know how to use it in the future and stay competitive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to go away. It's definitely not going to go
So,
away. It's not going to go away. So going back to how to rather than avoiding it,
Yeah.
let's like learn about it and do what we can to leverage it and
Mhm.
as a positive, powerful tool for change, positive change. And yeah,
Yeah. The hardest part is there's so many tools out there right now. Finding the time to research and understand,
yeah.
what it can do is the hard part. So I'm actually at the moment looking for courses to take myself on prompt writing, on the tools to use for,
Mm,
certain marketing aspects of things, just to kind of keep,
right.
my head in it and understand how it's working.
Yeah. 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 It's here to stay. And
It's
I
true.
know that it won't take away the power of connection, like deep
Hmm.
connection, especially in person. I mean, you can
Absolutely.
probably, it'll change the way we connect online. But in
Hmm.
person, there's just it's like, remember when we had the COVID and then all went to Zoom
Hmm.
and we had, like for me, when I train people on public speaking, learning how to do public speaking online is different from public speaking in person. So
Absolutely.
communicating online is going to be different with AI. It's different in person, communicating, connecting in person. And
Yeah.
I don't think AI can, I think it can change it in a way where maybe you can look up what you want to say, but then
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it's about how do you connect, right?
Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
about that. Yeah.
I've been teaching online for 10, oh God, no, more than 10 years, I think at this point.
Yeah.
And so teaching online and Zoom is great because I can have all my
Yeah.
notes right on the side,
Yeah.
right? And I
Right.
can I can move things around and I can think. When you're in person, you feel that pressure of the audience. It's a
You-
whole different ballgame. And
It's
I
whole
think
different.
people say that public speaking is their number one fear above death, right? So it's something
Uh-huh.
that there's something to that being that focal point, that center in person
Right.
is much harder than online. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
but I think
Well,
those soft
Jen,
are going to be
go ahead.
huge. Future, sorry. I think those soft skills in the future are going to be the biggest differentiator amongst people. Like if you can master that, if you can do online and offline and present and public speak, you'll be unstoppable.
Thank you, Jen. And if you're out there, you need help, you let me know.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's
It's
true.
such a
It
full,
is really
huge
true.
skill.
Those soft skills are important because a lot of the things maybe replace some of these technical skills.
Hmm.
It may
Absolutely.
be evolved, it may be replaced and evolved into something else, new skills.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. It's a
Maybe
whole
we'll
new
see.
world.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll touch base. I'll reach out to you in about a year or so. We'll
Yeah,
probably
that'd be
see
great to see
more.
where we are. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Jen, I'd like to ask you the final question that I ask all my guests. What is that one leadership golden takeaway that you want the audience to remember?
Yeah, it might not come as any surprise if anyone's been listening for the last few minutes here, but I do believe without a doubt that leadership is all about investing in people, right? That listening to them and understanding them and helping them achieve their goals ultimately helps leadership achieve their goals. That the more that you can build a team and create a sense of um, excitement and understanding and trust amongst the people you're working with, the more
Mhm.
you'll see the results that you're looking for in the end, because people will be the ones that get you. Even if you're using AI tools, I still
Mhm.
think the people you're surrounding yourself with are the people that will get you to where you want to go.
I agree. Yes, surround yourself with amazing people, just like Jen has. And look, she has an amazing work, amazing network of people. Your net worth is your network.
Absolutely. I love that statement. Yes, that's exactly true.
Yeah.
Continuously invest in it. Even if you're not looking for a job or anything, you just have to keep
Yes.
everything warm and everything going well.
Right, right. Get to know your people around you.
Hmm.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jen. And thank you, audience, for being here. I trust that you got your golden takeaway for today, something that's actionable that you can implement right away. And remember, anytime you have an opportunity to communicate with someone, you also have an opportunity to connect and inspire and make a positive difference. Thank you for being here. Much love. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.